Disney has released the 13th episode of The Bad Batch Season 3, which focuses on the Bad Batch crew as they finally make their way to Omega and the secret base on Tantis. And I thought it was a pretty solid episode. Because while nothing of real major significance happened, this episode does bring our characters ever so closer to their finale. The Bad Batch is no longer just sitting around and waiting for information, they are actively on their way towards Omega. And when they get to her, she's already going to have her own escape plan ready. Does that feel a little convenient? Sure, but the pieces are all in place for these last two episodes to finally bring every storyline to a proper conclusion. And I think this season has done a pretty good job of that so far. I even think this episode did a decent job of clearing up a small issue I had with last week's episode. Because Rampart stated that Tantis was designed specifically for no one to know its coordinates, but that didn't make any sense to me. After all, plenty of people have flown to and from Tantis in the past few episodes alone, so surely someone must have its coordinates. But in this episode, it was explained that pilots never have the exact location of the base, as the coordinates are always transmitted directly to a ship's navicomputer from an orbital station above Coruscant. So basically, every ship that has ever flown in or out of Tantis has been on autopilot the whole time. And that's enough of an explanation for me to buy into, because this is an animated show made for children, so not everything needs to make perfect sense, but as long as my disbelief can reasonably be suspended, then I can also be on board with the story being told. So, Into the Breach was a decent episode filled with some solid tension, and I think that bodes well for what's left to come in the series. Which means that I am looking forward to seeing the penultimate episode of The Bad Batch when it gets released on Wednesday.